doing masters in science education, and my CSP project is titled Intoxicating Immunity, Detoxing, Superstition through Science Education in Libya. So what comes to your mind when I say the word immunity? Probably COVID-19, right? We're now talk about COVID-19 as if it's something just happened in the past, but it was really challenging our very own existence. However, the type of immunity I'm going to talk about today, it's not the one related to the body, but the one related to the mind. Without this immunity, we easily fall victim to intoxication, and we're going to see what we mean by intoxication. We easily get deceived by superstition, fake news, or corrupt systems and ideologies. So what we mean by intoxication in that scope, what are its roots and implications, and also most importantly, how can science education work as a vaccine? Before I introduce the solution, I want to take you through the problem and what it looks like when this rational immunity breaks down. I'm going to begin with a story that happened a few months ago in Libya. In February 2025, the town of Al Sab'a, which is just a few kilometers from my hometown, experienced a strange wave of fires, and many homes got affected by this. Almost 230 homes, suddenly fires in homes lit up. So what's the reason? When there was no clear explanation, people turned to supernatural narratives. So one of the explanation was that the fires were acts of revenge by a tribe of jinn, which means demons. And it goes further than that that the jinn got upset because a treasure they were guarding, someone got that treasure, so as a revenge they lighted the fire. And I'm here not talking about just a few people thinking about this. Even the authorities themselves acted accordingly. And instead of scientific investigation, a team from the Ministry of Religious Affairs was sent to spiritually purify the area. That device was called Hasin. This is a picture from Al Sab'a. This is the team purifying the area. Of course, the fire didn't stop, it continued. And we see here the type of intoxication we're talking about, right? And Hasin in Arabic means a protector or shield. So supposedly it protects from evil, from sorceries, from curses. And then as a second intervention, the firefighters and the teams to investigate the area were sent to that place. But let's now pause a little bit and reflect on that. This is one of many stories we hear, not just in Libya, in many countries. Even the most educated of us and most powerful of us, they sometimes think like this. In regard to climate change, regarding politics, regarding health issues, there is this intoxication mentality. And it has its roots. It has its root causes. And it is actually, if we're gonna summarize it in a sentence, the illusion of safety that comes from rituals instead of reasons, or personal beliefs instead of reason, and it makes people follow tradition blindly rather than critically thinking about whatever issue happening around us in this world. And we can relate some roots, not all of them of course, but you can say cultural roots like socio-cultural traditions. This is create a collective mindset in the community where if you come and say the reason, you will look, you will be alienated, you'll be like a stranger. And also there is the emotional comfort. So we have immediate clarity. When I say oh, there's fire, oh, because of this. So you have your answer, you feel emotionally comfortable. The other thing, which is, I think it can be a CSB in itself, why there's a distrust in science in our community. We know science got us to places, got vaccines, we have cars, lights, everything from this technology because of science, but why there is distrust in science? One of explanation maybe because it seems Western or abstract or poorly communicated. And this is relates also, we will see, to the educational systems. But seriously, why this approach, like, or this kind of mentality is dangerous? First, community starts to fear the unseen force and stop looking for real causes. This is, if you accept it one day for future incidents, also it's going to be taken with the same mentality. This is going to cause a lot of problems to the communities and individuals. Also, it shifts responsibility from the government and local authorities and making them less accountable. If it was, for example, these fires were because of, I don't know, like electrical charges, because irresponsible team from the government did do it, they can just say it's because of the jinn and they get out of it. And if the community believes this, their rights are gone, right? The other thing, it eases spread of hate speech, fake news, and false accusations, weakening society's rational immunity and making it harder to respond to logically in future crises. This is a post from the, sorry, this is a post from the Hassin page on Facebook. So they're writing here that the team just got some magical tools or sorcery tools, and they're accusing the Africans from sub-Saharan countries by doing this. So they're spreading hate speech against sub-Saharan Africans, right? And here we can see in the comments someone saying that okay, departure them, get them out of the country. Then someone actually from Sudan explained that this is just things for, you make for smell and you make for something they drink. They're not related to the sorcery at all. But see, like a device that she actually what's the word? Sorry, verified by the government, saying this hate speech, and you see like the comments about it. Okay, so we need a new narrative, right? And to me, I see my way to change this mentality through science education. Before, like I say like why I choose science education, because from when I was in elementary school, I've always thought about this. Like science, we take it as science facts. I remember one time I asked my teacher, why do opposite particles attract? Why do opposite particles attract, right? And same one, they repulse. So she was like, just because they're opposite. She gives the same, without the history of science about how this approach came to be, and the other details that we could have the discussion, right, and see the process of how we reach to this conclusion. And that made me go and search on the internet, where I started developing the passion towards science, and then it became a mission. And this project is one of them. So I see by teaching students to question, investigate, and think critically, we can build a rational immunity that shields society from fear, misinformation, and superstition. And as like the short anecdote I shared with you, there is science education needs to be transformed. We need to transform how science is taught. Science must be taught as a way of thinking, not just memorizing. We need to foster engagement. School must replace outdated methods with dynamic teaching strategies. Also, we need to introduce inquiry-based, context-relevant, and socially meaningful lesson to the classroom. And one of the approaches actually we can find in the science education literature is called the nature of science. So the nature of science approach, 2 minutes?
1 minute.
Oh, okay. The nature of science approach deals with 3 barrels: the scientific inquiry, the history of science, and socio-scientific issues. The scientific inquiry, I brought the small device, but I forget it up in the seat. It looks like this. It's called the mystery tube. So you can have this mystery tube, and then you will try to pull the string from here, and you will ask the students what they think. So you're gonna create like creative thinking for them. Some will say maybe it has It has a hub in the middle that makes it react the way it reacts. Some maybe say it's because there's a small genie, right? Small genie inside playing with the strings. But all of that creates the critical thinking we want. So these are some models, scientific models, that makes us think about this. Okay, so my intervention is the Libyan Center for Science Communication and Education, or for short is SciComEd. The objectives of that center is to equip teachers with modern science educational skills, especially the nature of science approach. We also improve science curricula in collaboration with the Ministry of Education and the Curriculum Development Center in Libya. The third objective is to promote public understanding of the science literacy by organizing community events in partnership with NGOs and civil society. And the last thing is to support researchers in communicating their findings to decision makers, so we react to any problems in the future in the right way, right? This is short term, long term, it's related to objective. I would like to end with these two quotes from two of my favorite philosopher scientists. One is by Ibn Rashid. He says, ignorance leads to fear, fear leads to hatred, and hatred leads to violence. This is the equation. Carl Sagan says, science is more than a body of knowledge. It's a way of thinking, a way of skeptically interrogating the universe. Thank you.
Any questions for Amjad? Okay, but keep them short, guys, okay?